Welcome to the Prime Health Podcast with your host, Dr. Derek Barron. Dr. Barron interviews doctors, wellness experts, and healthcare leaders who are revolutionizing how we approach health and longevity. The Prime Health Podcast explores breakthrough science, personal and patient stories, and practical insights that are shaping the future of health and wellness. So sit back, listen in, and prepare to transform how you think about your path towards Prime Health with Dr. Barron and his special guest.
Hello, my name is Dr. Derek Barron, and welcome to another amazing episode of the Prime Health Podcast. We interview doctors, nurses, wellness experts, and healthcare leaders who are revolutionizing how we approach health and longevity. We explore breakthrough science, personal and patient stories, and practical insights that are shaping the future of health and wellness. Now, before we get into today's episode and our amazing guest, I want to introduce you to our sponsor called Grow Solutions. They are your business growth partner for busy health and wellness professionals. Grow Solutions works to eliminate things such as getting in front of more people you need to get in front of, whether it's patients or clients, improving the frameworks, implementing AI into your practice, trying to take away some of the hassle that doesn't allow people to enjoy their life while they're in business. Grow Solutions isn't a vendor, we're a partner in growth for you. So if you've ever said this to yourself, I'm too busy to grow, too slow to scale, or too overwhelmed to fix it, let us know. We can help you out. If you have some information that you want us to share with you, just drop the word grow below or feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn as well. Now, let's dive into today's episode and our amazing star of the podcast. I'm excited to introduce you to Sam Jacobsak, founder and CEO of Shoulder Sleeper LLC, a leading innovator in the post-operative recovery solutions division. Sam specializes in developing patented medical products that improve patient comfort and recovery after shoulder injuries and surgeries, and has built a reputation for bridging sports medicine expertise with practical, patient-focused design. Drawing from his own experience as a former professional baseball player recovering from shoulder surgery, Sam and his team have helped thousands of people and patients sleep comfortably and heal faster with the Shoulder Sleeper pillow, which is now recommended by over 100 plus orthopedic surgeons and sold in clinics worldwide. Sam is also a patent holder, industry innovator, and advocate for improving patient recovery experiences with a mission to make comfortable restorative sleep the standard in orthopedic care. Sam, welcome to the Prime Health Podcast.
Thank you for having me, Derek. I'm definitely excited to talk about what we're doing here at Shoulder Sleeper and some industry insights.
Yeah, love it. Can't wait to hear about it. And I'm sure you kind of get that itch as an ex-ball player. We're not quite in October, but we're getting there. It's that, things are happening in baseball. So yeah. Hopefully you won't leave and you get too excited. You'll stick with us for a little bit here. So I do want to kind of probably start, with the Shoulder Sleeper. What was your aha moment that led you to creating the Shoulder Sleeper pillow?
Yeah, definitely. The aha moment is really right after surgery. I'd say probably the first 2-3 weeks, I had so much support around me, whether it was surgeons, nutritionists, PTs. And I came to my PT and I was like, man, I can't sleep. I'm not recovering. I wake up with so much pain in my shoulder, inflammation. He's like, yeah, kind of talked about what the discomforts were. And he was like, yeah, there's got to be something else out there. And he's like, I hear this complaint a lot. And we searched everywhere. And that one aha moment was like, wow, there's really nothing here. And that aha moment kind of led to the prototype that week. And I slept with it for the first time. So that third week post-op, I actually slept with the prototype my co-founder, Mike Scudo, made. And I woke up from that nap. It was like a 5-hour nap. And I was like, we got something here.
Is it really good for any shoulder surgery that's going on there? I mean, rotator cuff, labral tear, anything like that?
Really, any upper extremity surgery or injury. I mean, we targeted mainly surgeries, right? Rotator cuff, cleanups, total shoulders. But we saw a lot of promise with just injuries. So like dislocations, humeral fractures, clavicle fractures. And then that also led into kind of lymphedema patients after breast cancer surgery. People with strokes. So there is a wide range. We do try to keep it tight. So just like, we can't just kind of cover but anyone that really upper extremity injury or surgery.
Okay. So personally, I had a labral surgery, not from throwing a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. You're correct. It's either sleeping on the couch, sleeping in a chair, and trying to prop things up. So for most people, like, well, if you have shoulder surgery, you've got a problem. Can't I just take my couch pillow and stuff it under there? What's the big deal? What's the difference of why the Shoulder Sleeper pillow is so beneficial for people?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, people mention that like, oh, like I can just sleep in my recliner. I'll put pillows around there. But at the end of the day, like we are we are a sleeping brace. Your ability to come after day after surgery, you can take your medical sling off. You can put our pillow on, and we solve a lot of those problems the sling has in general with the neck strap, the ulnar nerve pressure, and then that you can't sleep. The sling is made for standing with gravity, but once you lay down, all support is gone. So you'll be able to take that sling off, you put ours on, and a pillow will never allow you to sleep on your side.
Cool. So basically you're allowing people with your device to immediately come out. They'll leave with we won't give the name of that product that's out there, but they can leave, they can switch. They still can walk around like they would in that other device.
Yeah.
But then they can sit in a chair with more comfort or sleep with much more comfort.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we try to be in addition to the sling, right. But there are many surgeons that send patients home with this in the United States, Australia, and some of the Nordic countries as well.
Wow, that's fantastic. Now, you did say something about a prototype because you had to start in, I think we said your third week. What kind of research, prototyping, or testing went through to getting this model, this version that you're on right now?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we had a lot of medical. My co-founder, Mike Studio, he's a physical therapist in Boston. He clearly understands medical. So he had the right idea of like what abduction you need, where you need the straps. And we made a CAD file. We hired an engineer, made a CAD file. We CNC milled it out, got like 10 samples. We kind of sent them around to just like surgeons that we knew in the area. We got feedback and realized we spent that whole year doing that, just trial and error. Just we wanted to perfect the product and noticing it's kind of like the red car theory, right? It's like how common is shoulder surgery? And all of a sudden it was like every month we had a family friend or a friend of a friend or a friend's mom have shoulder surgery. We're like, hey, take a free prototype, sleep with it, let us know. And we had so much great feedback throughout that first year. We just kind of just did trial and error back and forth. And we really just cared about the product and cared about what every patient said about it.
Yeah. Now, something that you said earlier, Sam, I think is really important because you're exactly right. When you go home, typically with the black device that you go home with, it's gravity dependent. So again, what's unique to the shoulder sleeper pillow that's different from other orthopedic pillows that are out there that most people should be wanting to get this under their arm versus the other devices?
Yeah, there's definitely a few things. I mean, the first thing is we went the route of we didn't want to be universal, right? We wanted this to be a custom device to your size and your side. So right, we have a custom left and a custom right. So the ability for that, you kind of add a little more features, right? When you're sleeping in your bed with just a sling, your humerus will kind of just sag down, and that's a lot of that pain. With the pillow, it actually props your humerus up, and it eliminates the ability to ever roll onto your hurt shoulder, which is that main kind of disturbance and wake up.
So Sam, again, you kind of mentioned this earlier at the start of the talk, but there's a difference with the typical orthopedic pillows that come out that are gravity dependent and they just hang there versus yours. You can take it off, you can allow it to hang, and you can sleep with it. Tell me what really is the difference of that post-op shoulder injury, how it benefits much more with your pillow than others.
Yeah, definitely. So the main thing we thought of at the very beginning is we wanted this to be customized to patients. So we made a custom left and a custom right. The number one problem with the sling is just it's supported through the neck, right? A lot of surgeons like our product and almost recommend our product after surgery because there are cervical issues after surgery. If you're sitting there for 6 weeks and you're just dead arm and you're just kind of pulling down. So that's one great thing about our product. But the ability to it's custom curved as well. So it's not just a flat pillow. It actually curves around your hip and sits on your hip with the elastic waist strap. So there is no need for that neck strap, which is great. And then the ability when you go into your bed, right? If you're laying in with the sling, you can't roll. I mean, you can roll on your shoulder, but you're not supported as well. We created a custom arm bar in the back that props your shoulder up a little bit, doesn't allow you to roll over, but it kind of allows you to kind of toss and turn and prevent that disturbance throughout the night.
Okay. So have you had some people that have been in the typical device, have had, been uncomfortable, and then they get into yours? How long do you think it typically takes for them to notice a better night's sleep because of switching devices?
Yeah, no, I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you asked that. The first night. I mean, we get patients that will have surgery for a month. They can't sleep at all. They get their product. They actually call me that next morning. They'll call our customer support line and be like, I've struggled for a month. And last night I got my first full sleep. And it's great to hear that. I mean, that's why we do what we do. And the ability to hear that we can solve that issue that first night is really powerful.
Yeah, that's awesome. It was a long time ago that I had mine, but I know I didn't sleep well. I slept better than with broken ribs, but I still didn't sleep as good. I definitely could have used that. I actually spoke to a family member that knew somebody that was having it. So I turned them onto your website, which we'll share later on in the show too. So hopefully something will come from that. You work with different kinds of providers, orthopedic surgeons, physician's assistants, physical therapists, chiropractors. You work with all kinds?
Yeah, we really work with everyone because that's the thing with hospital systems. They use a lot of upper extremity wounds, shoulder surgeries, shoulder injuries, lymphedema patients, strokes. So they kind of cover the realm. And you kind of have the private practices that just kind of hammer out shoulder surgeries or elbow surgeries. And then you just have the PT clinics that they get the patient. They're more personal with the patient too, so they can kind of get better feedback from them. But yeah, really kind of cover all realms.
Have you been able to speak with any athletic trainers with any teams at all and say, hey,
yeah, I mean, that's the funny thing is a lot of people always like kind of give us advice and like, oh, like you got to get it in with all the MLB teams and this stuff. And I'm like, that's no problem. Like every guy in professional sports that gets a shoulder surgery or shoulder injury, I just send it to their locker. I don't even ask for like publicity or stuff. I just send it to their locker. Trevor Story wore it. Ben Joyce wore it after his surgery. Zach Wheeler's going to wear it for his surgery now. So yeah, I mean, our target, the most popular customer or the most popular person to get shoulder surgery is like 65-year-old older women. So that's kind of why we kind of target towards them. But yeah, we definitely get it into those professional sports teams.
Yeah. That's good that you have the sub niches, but there are more general population than there are athletic population. So it's a good to get into their shoulders if you wish. So I know probably jumping from being an athlete to being an entrepreneur wasn't the easiest task, but what's some of those challenges going from that baseball player to then building a business around the shoulder sleeper?
Yeah, I would say there's definitely two main differences. I would say the first one would be routine, right? When you go into professional sports or even just college sports, like your goal is to build a routine, right? When you wake up on game day, what do you eat, right? What are your stretches before? When do you start doing this? You build these perfect routines to kind of get your body ready. But as an entrepreneur, there is no such thing as routine, right? You could wake up and you could have pallets stuck at customs, or you wake up and the website's not working, or you wake up and you have an account that has an issue with an order or you're doing website stuff. So every week is a different day. So that was kind of like a little wake up call. And the second one is you have to invent work for yourself, right? Like you're not going to just open up your computer and be like, oh, this is what I need to do today to move the needle. You need to be like, what do I need to do to move this needle? When you in sports, you kind of just show up in the weight room. You have your strength coach here. You got on the whiteboard, hey, this is what you're doing, Sam, from 12 o'clock to 2 o'clock. But I could wake up whenever, I could do whatever. So that is the tough thing I talk to a lot of other entrepreneurs that are sports players, and is creating work for yourself is definitely kind of a wake up call, but definitely something that's new to the process.
Yeah. You worked hard to become the athlete. It'd be easier to always get to have somebody over your shoulder saying, okay, this is your next step. The real world, when you put on your suspenders as a big boy or a big girl, it's a different kind of step, but that's the benefit and the beauty of it. Plus, I think what works well for you, you experienced the problem, you found a solution, and you know how much pain was involved in that. Yeah. And therefore you want other people to experience the relief that you had.
Yeah, that's the funny thing is that there are a lot of similarities. People think, oh, how do you go from sports to this? Well, I mean, in sports, every single day you give it your all. You fail, but you don't want to fail twice. Same thing with business. Like you could make a mistake, but just don't make the mistake twice. And it's the same thing with baseball, right? If you throw a fastball down the middle and he hits it 450, let's not throw a fastball down the middle next time. So it's one of those things is you can kind of mix and match some of the things you learn in sports, bring it into business and medical.
You get a lot of feedback from customers and surgeons and that kind of stuff. Do you have a place where people can learn about your testimonials?
Yeah. We have some stuff on our website. But last year, I actually made a commitment. I kind of mentioned earlier when we were talking, I said I cared so much about what customers said. And last year, there was probably a 6-month period where I called every single customer. Wow. Every customer, every day, whoever ordered it, I said, hey, what did you like about it? What did you hate about it? Like, what could be better? I asked every person, and that's what we did throughout that 2 years of building this from our MVP, is listening to what customers say. We put it all into a doc, and that's how we made our R&D changes. The customer is safe because at the end of the day, that's all we care about is making them happy. And that will obviously translate to the surgeons. But at the end of the day, I cared about what the customers said, and we made those changes. So that was definitely a big part of bringing what the product is today, is just customer feedback.
Yeah. It speaks a lot to your integrity and your ethics to reach out to those people. Not that you wouldn't want to today, still do that.
Yeah, I still do, but not as much as before.
Yeah. What do you do? How do you get the word out about your pillow?
Yeah, I would say the first up until probably early this year, it was just word of mouth. I mean, we ran some like small Google ads, but nothing like scalable. We kind of just were focusing on the product itself. We just kept tinkering with the product. This year was the first year where we have a true finished product, multiple sizes, everyone's happy, no complaints. And this is when we're kind of really driving that social media, driving traffic. But you have to find a lot of people in that niche time frame of 2 weeks before surgery or 2 weeks after surgery. Right. So it is a kind of a complicated customer acquisition sometimes.
Do you have anybody that is like influencers that kind of speak about your product?
I wouldn't say, I mean, we definitely have social media influencers that have used the product and promoted it, which is great. But I think the best kind of partnerships are with surgeons that believed in us early on. So we had about 5 surgeons that really believed in our product early on and believed in me and Mike. And it was just an MVP product. So it wasn't finalized, but they went to conferences and mentioned, hey, these kids are actually solving our biggest complaints. So having those surgeons that supported us early on, gave us great feedback, and even passed around the word to some of their colleagues. So I would say that would be the biggest one that helped us.
That's awesome. So if there are some orthopedic surgeons watching or listening to this, how can they do you have the ability to wholesale through those people, or are there affiliate options that you offer for them? How would that work for a surgeon to get involved with you guys in the shoulder sleeper pillow?
We offer a bunch of different kind of customizable models. Obviously, the main ones are just wholesale and affiliate drop shipping for them. Yeah. But every clinic and hospital we've learned is very different. Everyone has different storage, different amount of surgeons and DME. Some have a DME, some don't have a DME. So we really are just customized. We just book a call, be like, hey, how does your practice work? What do you do for cash pay items right now? How can we fit in? And we just try to create a customized plan for them that gets their patients the pillows.
Yeah. You just said cash pay. Is this covered by insurances or is it a cash pay item?
No, FSA, HSA right now. Okay. We have the option to go to, I guess, insurance, but we're in this like realm of, right, we're in addition to the sling, we solve the sling's issues. The sling is made for standing up and walking around. We are here for in-home, for sleep. There has been a lot of kind of requests. Hey, can we just take this to insurance? Can I give this to patients? That's kind of been our kind of devil's advocate of which one to go and where to go. And I think eventually it will kind of figure itself out.
Yeah. From the hard work of the business as you sit there behind your computer and do things, where is the focus of you on your business right now?
Yeah, right now, I kind of mentioned earlier, is helping scale just digital ads, having a presence in the industry. Earlier this year, I focused a lot on conferences. I was traveling a lot, talking to people in person, just kind of getting us out. Hey, we're here to play. Right now, I'm just doing a lot of just social media ads, trying to help with the shoulder surgery study coming up, a clinical trial coming up, just making sure everything's okay with that. Cool. And then bringing manufacturing to the United States. We're trying to take our textiles to the US or Mexico. That's kind of a big thing because we're growing so fast and you only can order so many and there's just a big lead time. So we're happy to say we're assembled in the United States.
You're getting there. You're at least striving for that. What takes up most of your time during the day within the business?
There's 2 main things. One would just be emails. The email box gets pretty full pretty fast. I mean, I've got to be able to leverage AI into the inbox now, so it cleans it up really well and gets efficiency. But a lot of admin work. I mean, right now we're trying to figure out how we're going to hire. We're going to start bringing on some employees. So that's kind of taking up a lot of time, but just admin work. There's just so many little things that go everywhere that kind of takes up a lot of time. And you're just like, oh my God, I was just on this project. And then I just got distracted for 2 hours, just pushing invoices, filling out Excel. Yeah. That's the tough thing of kind of being an entrepreneur, is you kind of wear a bunch of hats. And sometimes you only need to wear 2 hats one day, but all of a sudden you're wearing 5.
That's a good point. I like that. You're used to wearing a baseball hat, but it's no fun at times when you don't want to.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So what would, from the version that you have now, is there something that you're envisioning in the future? Like where do you see, I guess we'll say the whole business, the shoulder sleeper, where do you see that growing in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah. So the product itself, we're going to come out with some variations. There's definitely a bunch of things we want to do, whether that's shoulder sleeper pillow, shoulder sleeper sling. We have 3 different variations. But the biggest thing for the company is really just convincing and creating a brand new insurance category, right? I mentioned how we want to go insurance eventually, but at the end of the day, sleep is one of the number one things for recovery. There has been a category for sleep and orthopedics, but there hasn't been something, take your brace off, that's made for mobility and walking around the day, to getting in bed, preventing an injury. There's not a lot of data, but there are a lot of testimonials that people are saying they actually re-injure themselves. So maybe preventing people from re-injuring themselves, that's a big one. In the next 3 to 5 years, we hopefully just kind of master our product, our niche market. Right. And then we have about 4 to 5 other product lines waiting to build our company out. It's hard to put your finger in everything instead of just, hey, just focus on one right now, kind of build that moat. And then you can easily bring on the next 3 to 5 product lines that we have waiting with some really cool tech. We have some awesome tech, what people are never going to think of. We're going to have some really cool tech in the next 1 to 2 years coming out.
Are you going to have any red light therapy built into the pillow?
People have mentioned that, but people have mentioned like that or a cold therapy, but we're thinking
to spill the beans.
Yeah, I'll just spill the beans, but it's definitely a lot deeper than that.
That's cool. You had mentioned before, like, do you have a study that's coming out to show the efficacy of the shoulder sleeper pillow?
Yeah, right now the studies, we're waiting for the approval from the government, the IRB maybe, but yeah, it's going to be 80 patients go home with the standard sling and 80 patients go home with the shoulder sleeper pillow. And we're all going to wear Fitbits. We'll use a Pittsburgh pain score and just going to control their pain levels. We're going to control how many disturbances and how much they're sleeping, compare the two. And then the third one, which is we've seen testimonials of this, but we want to see hard data, is reducing opioid use. So at the end of the day, patients take opioids to sleep, right? If you're going to bed, you're going to take those pills to fall asleep. So we've partnered with some other companies to try to like kind of mitigate that. Realistically, we are trying to see, hey, this is a true comparison of somebody that slept with the pillow, shoulder sleeper, and somebody that didn't. And here's how many opioids each of them took.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll be interested to hear how that works out, because I can imagine it's only going to tilt in your favor for your product, which is a great thing. But, you know, it'd be great to have people go home and split the difference with it. So you had mentioned this earlier, and I want to kind of hit this back again to your previous athletes go in it. But, you know, when you see somebody at the grocery store, elderly woman or man, but, you know, that does this kind of a situation to kind of get their arm up over the top. If people can't see me, you know, I'm shrugging my shoulder. So has anybody ever used it pre-surgical intervention?
Yeah, a lot of our surgeons have been starting to realize they would recommend it in like their quick follow-up, like the week before, and be like, hey, you should maybe get this for after surgery. And then we started seeing more feedback from surgeons who are like, I actually had my patients sleep with it 2 weeks prior, right? Because if you're having shoulder surgery on your right shoulder on Friday, and that whole week, whether you think it or not, you're most likely going to roll on your shoulder and sleep on it. And you're going to impinge your shoulder. There's studies that show that you impinge your shoulder when you're sleeping there, you cut blood flow off. So the ability to actually sleep pain-free before surgery is super beneficial. We've had about 3 patients now actually canceled surgery because they were sleeping with this like 2 months in advance. They would go to physical therapy, because patients will go to physical therapy, go home, sleep on their shoulder, inflammation. You're not really strengthening your shoulder at all. Mm-hmm. But some of these patients slept with it every single day. They went to PT 3 times a week, and they kind of solved that injury enough to the point of like, hey, I'm not going to go to surgery. So it was really cool to see that. Not saying it's going to heal their shoulder or prevent it, but it's going to reduce inflammation and allow you to actually go to PT and do what you need to do, instead of you doing T's and Y's and you have your shoulder hurts and all of a sudden you're using your trap or your bicep to do that exercise instead of actually using your rotator cuff.
Yeah. The best surgeons out there don't want to do surgery unless it's the last, you know, the need. So I'm sure eventually they may have to go back. They've got the pillow that's going to work best for them. If there's a patient that's at home struggling, they're hearing about this, or if there's a PT that's wondering, or even a surgeon, what can you do to essentially let them get this into their clinic?
Yeah, we have a healthcare professional page, and it'll really show everything, whether you want marketing material so we can drop ship your products for you. We have a wholesale inquiry form, just kind of, hey, tell us about your clinic. We'll call you within 1 business day to let you know how we can implement the pillow into your practice best that we can, and it's best for you. So yeah, I would just say head over to our website and fill out one of those forms, or you can just reach out to customer support and we'll take it from there.
Cool. So as we kind of get close to wrapping up here, we'll share all of your social media links that you've provided for us in the description below. If people are like, what's the website? How can they reach out to you if they're initially interested now?
Yeah, just shouldersleeper.com. Yeah.
Okay.
Or you can on LinkedIn, Sam Jacobsak, and then Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok is just Shoulder Sleeper.
Okay. Well, again, we'll drop all those in here. The last question I ask is about Prime Health. The podcast is called Prime Health. That means a little bit different for everybody that's out there. What does Prime Health mean to you?
Yeah. Prime Health means to me is giving the patient the ultimate care that we can give, right? Whether that's I need to figure out how to increase fulfillment times for same day so that patient can get that pillow a day earlier. A day earlier means one more day less pain. We don't add products to our website unless we have enough patients that say, hey, I want this, I need this, this is what we buy. Yeah, Prime Health Care means to me is what the best healthcare and the best, I guess, services I can give to our customers and patients.
Well, it seems like the Shoulder Sleeper pillow has done that for a lot of people already, especially those few that have avoided surgery, at least for now. Well, Sam, I want to thank you very much for sharing your personal story, your expertise on this. As I tell everybody when they listen or watch these podcasts, yes, Sam and I want our niche out there. They want people to learn about this. The truth is, you were having coffee with somebody this morning and they were talking about their shoulder, or somebody that's going to have shoulder surgery. We ask that you share this podcast for that person. Yes, it'll help us grow our reach, but there's someone out there that needs what Sam and his partner have, and we want to get it in the hands. Hopefully there will be a surgeon that they see that will already be using it, but it's really important that they do. So it's important that you are sharing it when it's needed. Officially, of course, I'll say share, the Prime Health podcast. We always like to have it in front of people. If you're watching this on YouTube, please, like it, hit the bell button, you'll get notified. But until next time, remember that true wellness is a journey we are all on together. Now, whether you're taking charge of your own health or guiding others in theirs, every step forward matters. So from Sam and myself, we want to say stay committed to your Prime Health journey. Thank you again, Sam, and we will see you again soon.
Thanks, Derek.